Nebraska just wrapped up their final official visiting weekend until the fall. So in today's video, I'm going to give you an update about every single recruit that came on campus, where they're leaning in their recruiting process, and will they commit to Nebraska. So really quick, we have a jam-packed recruiting episode for you today. Make sure to smash that like button if you're hoping to see a lot of 4 stars and even some 5 stars commit to the Cornhuskers. We're going to talk about it today. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. This summer, I am posting a video every single day talking Nebraska football and Nebraska recruiting. So if you want to stay up to date with this program or just want to help me hit 4,000 subs, please hit that subscribe button. It would help me out greatly. But without further ado, let's jump into it, talking about Nebraska's recruiting weekend and what went down over the last couple of days. So like I started off with saying, this is the last official visiting weekend until the fall. We are officially starting the dead period, also known as commitment season. Now everybody in the country is done with their visits. We're going to see a lot of these top tier guys start to announce their commitments. And so for that reason, all of these guys who visited, they're extremely important. So let's just start it off with arguably the best guy who came on campus this weekend, 4-star cornerback Bryson Weber. And I've talked about Bryson Weber a lot in the past. He is a standard Matt Rhule corner, tall, lanky, can play all over the defense, and just a guy who can do it in multiple facets. Good tackler, really good hands, has the ability to go up and get an interception. So that's what he is as a player. Now, who is Nebraska battling in this recruiting process? Mostly TCU, Baylor, and Utah, but he said on his visit to Nebraska this weekend that the Huskers exceeded his expectations. And as of right now, the Huskers are right on the top of where he's going to decide to commit to. Now, with that being said, Nebraska was his first ever offer. Evan Cooper was extended that offer about a year ago. And for that reason, there's a little bit of a tight-knit connection there. And we saw a couple crystal balls come in for Bryson Weber, but I still think it's going to be a battle to get him. TCU is very much in there, and we've seen TCU jump in last second with NIL deals to secure some of their top tier players, so would not be surprised if that happens there. Again, Bryson Weber is a guy who's coming out of Texas, so it's really us or TCU in his recruiting process, but from what it sounds like, things are looking good. So hopefully we can get Bryson Weber, 4-star cornerback out of Texas. And man, I mean, that's a position where we need to get top tier players. So definitely a good update about him. Watch out. He says he's going to commit in early July, so over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now, keeping it with the 4 stars, let's go to the offensive side of the football, this time with a player in-state. And this is Chase Lofton, 4-star tight end. Now, this is a player I've talked about in the past on not liking Nebraska's odds. Florida State's going after him hard. Kansas State, Texas A&M, Missouri. Those are programs to watch out for. But Chase Lofton, another guy who had a great visit with the Huskers. Now, his visit ran a little bit late. He got on campus on Friday, then went back home to Omaha on Saturday to attend a funeral, then went back on campus on Sunday. So again, his visit ran until about late on Sunday night, but there's real optimism on the Husker coaching staff that they can flip him, or not flip him, but basically turn the tide in his recruiting process to get his talents. Now, there was a lot of crystal balls that came in over the last couple of days. I'm not sure if I necessarily buy them. Again, Florida State, Texas A&M, those are legit threats. He had great official visits over there. His family enjoyed their time over there. They've been going after him for a long time now. So, Chase Lofton, despite the crystal balls, it's going to be a competition to get this guy. You've got to lock down the 402. You've got to lock down the Omaha metro area, and this is one of the better tight ends to come from it in a minute. So, again, he said in a recent interview with Mike Sauter that he will commit in the next 2 weeks. So, again, watch out either this week or next week for him to commit to Nebraska or somewhere else. So, really, the 2 things you got to sell Chase Lofton on: proximity to home, because the other programs he's considering are pretty far. In NIL, you got to bump up that NIL. Again, that's always going to be a factor when landing these 4 stars. Let's go back to the defensive side of the football, and let's go to the linebacker spot. Talk about a player who you might not know too well, and this is Will Hawthorne. So this player is the #1 linebacker in the state of Iowa, and the Cornhuskers just offered him a couple weeks ago, and he instantly scheduled an official visit to Nebraska. He said in an interview that he loves Lincoln, he embraced Lincoln in the city, and he loves talking with the staff, specifically Rob Dvorak and Tony White. So his visit went very well, and from what it sounds like, it's us or Iowa State. This is a high 3-star linebacker, one of those just standard Midwest, wants to get dirty type of linebacker. So you feel good about him and what he brings to the table. But It's us or Iowa State. He grew up a fan of the Cyclones, and they've been after him very hard. And of course, he has that close proximity to home. So Will Hawthorne, we need to land him. We, still have struggled to get some linebackers in this class. Hopefully, we can get a guy like him. So definitely watch out on Will Hawthorne. And every single guy I'm mentioning, watch out for a commitment literally this week or next week. It's commitment season, folks. Two more here. Some players who I like Nebraska's odds on. Houston Kahana-Torres on the offensive line, Polynesian player. He loved his visit, Sid. He loved the family vibe. He loved meeting with Don Raiola. Of course, they have those strong Polynesian connections. But it's going to be a tough decision for Houston Kahana-Torres. There are a couple of schools going after him hard, specifically Michigan State, Cal, Arizona State. And for that reason, I don't know if Nebraska's the favorite right now, but we're talking about a player who's the number 2 player in the state of Hawaii. He honestly should be a 4-star guard. And Nebraska's had a very good time recruiting that state. Of course, they landed President Tomoa last class, who's the number 1 player from that state. They're trying to do so again here with Houston Kahana-Torres, another player who will commit in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but he's going to definitely ponder. I don't expect a commitment soon. He's going to ponder because I don't think he has his mind made up just yet. But let's go to a guy who we are on commitment watch for literally right now, anytime. Jeremiah Jones. So Jeremiah Jones, another player who you might not know. Nebraska really just got on the scene a couple weeks ago with him. They've had an offer out for a couple months now, but he scheduled an official visit late, and he loved his visit. The Huskers wowed him. Jeremiah Jones is a 6'6" player in the secondary. He can play safety, cornerback, nickel corner, even linebacker. And for a long time, it looked like Louisville was the strong favorite for him. He went on a couple of visits over there. He loved their coaching stuff, loved what they're offering to him. But Nebraska, I think they're now the team to beat in that recruiting process. Again, that's just a freak athlete. Another diamond in the rough, Rhule recruit, and hopefully the Cornhuskers can get him. Another guy who is committing in early July, folks. So we will see. But Louisville, it's one of those guys who Louisville, they really want to lock him down. He's a player who's coming out of Kentucky. We'll see if the Cardinals offer him like a last-second NIL package, just like TCU might do with Bryce Weber, because that's absolutely absolutely happening all the time in college football. So. But I think Jeremiah Jones will commit to Nebraska, and I think it'll be very soon. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff here from this recruiting weekend. Like I opened up with, it is commitment season. We're going to see a flurry of commitments over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. The month of July is going to be busy, so buckle up, folks, and hopefully Nebraska gets, when it's all said and done, at the end of July, we're on the better side of it, and we have 22 commits and a bunch of 4-stars. So, yeah, man. Big update today for Husker recruiting. Let me know down below in the comments section. Are you fired up? Who do you think we're going to land? Who do you think we might miss out on? And hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.